Good morning, everyone. It's
That's
11
true.
minutes
That's true.
past 8 o'clock, and it is time to dive into the world of politics
Woohoo!
with a little fun thrown in at the same time. It's time for our Party Scoopers.
How you guys doing?
Summit edition.
Summit edition.
Summit, that is. We are talking summit
If we
today.
can make politics fun, I think we should be paid a lot more.
Well, we're going to see what we can do. Craig Robinson, obviously representing our Republican side. Jeff Link, the Democrats. Okay, so we were just informed the Eagle has landed.
Trump is in Hanoi for
Okay.
the big summit.
Okay.
So,
gonna be interesting.
Bone Spurs didn't keep him out this time.
No.
no, so he's there now, and
Oh, I
judging
forgot
by
about that.
what we were talking about earlier, when will his counterpart get there? Like next Thursday?
No, well, he probably left a week ago. And
Okay.
He got there.
That's all
I think
he's-
we saw a video last night.
That's
from,
all I saw of the footage this morning is how slow Kim Jong-un's train was going as he was leaving and waving. It was just like, wow, you could jump on that or off of
Yeah.
it all you wanted to.
Because it's an armored train car, is
Well,
what it is.
you know, sometimes you see the video of Un in his car, and he's got like 8 guys running along the side of it. Maybe
Yeah.
there's 8 guys running along the
train.
side
Inside the train.
That's
or
what it
80
shows.
safe.
people running alongside. Yeah. So let's talk about this summit. USA Today is saying this could be a huge economic potential. There's the train there. See, it's not even moving at all. What are you guys saying on either sides of the fence with this summit that's about to happen?
I think it's important. I think that, you know, in the State of the Union address, you know, I was kind of, you forget there's so much stuff that goes on in politics these days. And Trump made the point that, look, North Korea hasn't fired a missile in 15 months. And things have calmed down in that part of the world, whereas if you go back, you know, 2 years ago, we thought we were going to war with North Korea, which is a scary, scary thought. And you know, you really kind of appreciate then that we've been able to cool this down, and so I hope something can come out of this that's productive. The difficult thing is you're dealing with a dictator who, you know, are they trustworthy or not? You know, the deal is only as good as both sides, you know, will
Right.
uphold it. And so do you trust Kim Jong-un to uphold any deal that you kind of come to? But I think these are good talks to have, especially when you, in that part of the world, you know, when you have a country like that firing rockets up in the air, and you're, you know, either Japan or South Korea or these countries, this has to be a very, very scary thing. So I think it's good that we're having these talks.
So it's okay that we're saying you can play with your missiles, just don't set them off.
Well, I think we're having a little bit tougher conversation than that. I think we'd like to just see them, you know, demilitarize.
But realistically, do you think that'll ever happen?
Well, look, I mean, part of what Trump is in a negotiation, you got to give something. Trump is giving the North Korean government a lot of credibility by going over there and having these talks, and
It's already given them a big concession militarily, right? We're no longer doing naval operations off the coast of North Korea. That's what came out of the first summit. And remember, Kim Jong-un was supposed to stop all of his testing and all of his developing of plutonium and uranium,
Right.
and in exchange we were going to stop having our Navy warships off his coast, and we held up our part of the bargain, but he didn't hold up his. And that's the big question mark, as Craig alluded to, is can you trust this guy? So, you know, the truth is we got 2 guys with giant egos, 2 guys that say a lot of things that aren't true. Maybe Trump understands Kim Jong-un because they're kind of the same person in a lot of ways, which is frightening. But it's important. You know, the big fear is that Trump is just going to give away the farm and get nothing for it. The big problem in North Korea, remember, is that they cannot sustain themselves. They cannot grow enough food to eat.
Okay.
It is one of the huge advantages that we have in the United States in terms of our own national security, is we are totally independent on food. It's largely because of the abundance that we have in Iowa and other states around the country. Think about it. If you rely on other countries to get food,
You have to play
you're
nice with
dependent.
those.
Yeah, you have to.
Countries.
you either have to play nice or you have to threaten to blow them up, which is the path that North Korea has chosen. They said, well, we're a nuclear power, and if you don't deal with us, we're going to start a war. You got to deal with this food insecurity problem in order to get at it. And you know, I hope Trump understands that. There was video yesterday that was really kind of shocking. It was Trump in the Oval Office with his lead negotiator on the Chinese tariff negotiations, that Lighthizer, and Lighthizer is briefing the press, and the president's sitting at his desk in the Oval Office, and he says, well, you know, we're working on this memorandum of understanding with the Chinese government, and Trump interrupts him and says, whoa, wait a minute. I don't like memorandums of understanding. And the guy he's appointed to lead these talks says, well, sir, in trade agreements, we describe them as memorandums of understanding. And Trump says, well, look, they're not enforceable. And his staff person says, well, sir, yes, they are. It's very detailed. It's a contract. They have to agree. We have to agree. It's binding for the term that we agree to it. And he's like, I don't believe that, Trump says. They go back and forth, and finally, the lead negotiator says, okay, we're not going to call it a memorandum of understanding anymore. We're going to call it a trade agreement. And Trump says, oh, I like that much better. I mean, it's terrifying. Like, he doesn't understand the basics of trade deals, and now we've got him negotiating with the guy who has nuclear weapons and is food insecure. So that's why the stakes are so high in this meeting, and that's why it's terrifying that Trump often shoots from the hip and isn't prepared for these meetings. So let's hope he has someone has a game plan, and that there is something that comes of this.
So you see it as kind of a scary situation where you're saying this is a good thing because we are at least talking.
Right. Look, there's always risk involved in this, especially when you're dealing with these type of people. Look, it's risky when the Obama administration, you know, had negotiations with the Iranian government. These are tough issues. There's not really a right or a wrong way. And look, Trump's unconventional. And I would argue that sometimes he's not from Washington. He's not from government. And so he operates much differently, and we get scared by it. But that could open other doors as well. So there could be an advantage of it. I think with Trump, you really have to wait and see what the ultimate results are. And that's hard to do in the era of, you know, every hour news cycles.
One final thing. Do you think there's a chance if Trump doesn't like what he hears, he'll turn around, get up, and walk out?
Maybe. I would look. Kim Jong-un is more likely to do that.
Okay.
Did he bring Dennis with him this time?
Yeah, he knows how to communicate with him.
Well,
Dennis Rodman? No.
Right.
No.
Maybe.
So since we are live in a news world where everything comes out very quickly, do we have an idea of when we will hear about how this summit has gone?
I assume right away.
Right away,
Yeah.
we'll hear something.
Look, I've already seen today. I think the president just landed, but I've already seen headlines that it's off to a rough start. But this isn't easy. This is going to be difficult.
Well, and the interesting thing is, for whatever reason, it appears that Trump really wants to be a Nobel Prize winner for peace. You know, he made that big deal in his press conference about how the Prime Minister of Japan had written a nomination letter for him, and it was this beautiful 5-page letter. We later find out that the U.S. government asked him to write the nomination letter. So I don't know why he's obsessed with the Nobel Peace Prize, but I mean, that may be driving some of this.
Okay.
Something
We'll
to
have wait and
attain.
see.
All right,
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.